All right, and we're back with round 2 of the
Woohoo.
Michigan ARG States event. Frisco Fahs versus Dan Dimitrievski.
Trevsky? Yeah. Dandy!
Dandy. Yep, both pretty solid local players. Frisco.
This happened right after my loss to Dan round 1.
Not the most interesting deck still. Like, Dan's been playing Black Krillin forever, but...
He relapsed even.
Sure.
Like, we had this discussion.
Yeah, from playing other stuff. Yeah, I don't love Black Krillin in the set 4 environment. People seem to be playing it... People are playing it in general way more than I would be playing it. Well, I mean, obviously, I haven't necessarily played it all in set 4, but it is more popular than I think is warranted relative to how good it is in a set 4 environment. But
yeah. I think it's just because it's an
play what
easy...
they know. Still a solid deck, but by no means a deck with the level of dominance that it had in set 2 or especially a set 3 environment. So I think people just give its stability a little too much credit in a set 4, and I guess we'll see what set 5 has to offer. But
we got Blue Tag Goku.
Another deck like kind of whiffed out of the gate in set 4. I like the fact that Frisco's playing it. It's a cool deck. It's very neat. The ability to tutor out all the cool hero tech allies on turn 1 and
have fun with Vegeta.
Sure, have fun with Vegeta and otherwise like block off interesting parts of your opponent's game plan is super neat. But my worry before set 4 came out was that the Tag Mastery's ability wouldn't necessarily be enough to warrant using it over the course of a whole game, and I think for the most part that's played out.
Because it's really just that kick out of the gate, right?
Sure.
It's like, get the ally.
Yeah, it grabs an ally, and then you can rejuve banished allies, which is super important.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but I mean, when you get into certain positions in a game, like,
there he
even
is.
though on paper that is an incredibly invaluable ability, when you get into like critical combats, especially during the end of the game, you know, where they banish one ally
it's not providing much.
Yeah, they're not coming back that turn. It doesn't provide any native way to tutor them back out after you rejuve them. So it does something really cool, but like I feel like it falls short just enough that makes it a little lesser probably than most protective builds. But I'm sure Frisco will do really well.
Yeah. It's so much more specific than the blue protective, because that one's just kind of like with the round 1 match, that blue trunks, it's a little turtley with all the like the ways to block, but it's got big attacks too, and this is just like so synergistic with allies that it's like you have to like...
Yeah, thinking back to other times that I've actually played Frisco with this build too, I think he might not run Yajirobe, which if I was running tag team, I would probably run Yajirobe and Roshi. I know he runs Roshi, and he might not run Oolong either. At least he wasn't at one point. But those are kind of the trio of really cool techie allies. All right, so we're gonna get going, and Dan's gonna lead it off.
It's got upward dodge. What is that one? That
Confront, upward, and finger block.
Finger block. That was the one that I was like, I've seen that. I know.
Keeping confrontation, which is almost certainly the right choice with a hand of 2 physical blocks and a confrontation.
Gain some stages.
Will draw. Think and pass. Switching energy guard and rejuving. Nope, rejuving energy guard.
It's narrow escape.
Narrow escape. My bad.
And
energy guard's the other one. I'm so smart.
You did it. Foreshadowing, adapted. Wait, what is it? Black adaptation.
Yeah.
And another
finger block.
Nice. Cool. Foreshadowing's not doing too much now.
Dan very likely going to pass here as well. Not sure what would be in it for him necessarily to enter other than to like poke in with just a Krillin power, but yeah, Tag Mastery's final ability prevents your last ally in play from being critted. So if Dan did choose to enter this turn,
or is it Is it you select one that can't be critted, or is it your last one?
No, Goku level 2 does something like that.
Okay.
Tag Mastery is if you have one ally, it can't be critted away.
Oh, okay.
Goku 2 is when you're in combat, you can target an ally,
Oh,
and they can't
okay.
leave play for any reason for that combat.
I knew there was a way to protect them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember exactly what that was with this deck.
Yeah, that Goku 2 power is actually kind of underrated. There hasn't necessarily been another
Huge
huge deck that anyone's built to take
foreshadowing.
advantage of it. But
Domination.
okay, Frisco dropping a domination, which is pretty awesome.
Rejuving head knock.
Being at level 2 definitely wouldn't be bad for him in this game.
Sphere. Declaration.
I'm sure he's not going to pop it until he's got some drills in there that he can get back. So probably after one solid combat of...
Oh, well.
Oh, and here it is. So Dan enters on a confrontation.
Time.
Frisco
Betrayal.
Has time, betrayal, enhanced reflexes, and
Overpowering.
attack.
Assuming he's
Dan
probably...
has no board, so it's going to be time or overpowering.
He doesn't... I mean, theoretically, he doesn't necessarily have to worry that much about time. He can just sphere it.
Sure, and I think even into a combat like that, I almost like baiting out the time. Assuming he couldn't sphere it, I almost like baiting out the time just to put it in the discard pile as opposed to shoving it right back in the life deck.
I guess that's true.
And knowing that it'll come up later in the game anyway.
Yeah.
So Frisco's going to Goku power, returning Vegeta. Dan will take a plink of damage with endurance.
I think it was smoothness though, so that's not horribly bad.
I think that was a scout maneuver.
Yeah, it was an
overpowering attack. Yep, yeah, you can just barely see it in the hand cam over there.
And he named overpowering attack.
So he's going to get rid of all three of them this combat, assuming he masteries, because it'll banish the bottom two of the discard pile, and the last one's kind of chilling in there.
Woohoo!
So that wasn't a bad pull.
That's all of them. The other one did look across.
He's just looking.
I know. Just look.
Eyeballing whatever else is in there. Overpowering attack, definitely not a bad call. Plenty of other stuff you can name too, but the sky's kind of the limit with scout maneuver. So at some point you just got to pick something. Blue betrayal for 2, probably. Three.
Woohoo!
And Dan launches a Krillin power, which is blocked by Vegeta.
So he's probably not even going to use the time.
Frisco passes, Dan masteries.
There goes the other overpowering attack.
Yep, passing out. So yeah, Frisco will get to time another day. Goku powering to tutor an ally.
Not even sure what he's got in there. Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi, not a bad choice. Black Krillin these days runs just about as many physicals as energies. Again, Yajirobe would have been a great pull for...
Because it's no setups, right?
Matchups. It's no setups until you perform an attack from your hand. So it doesn't shut them off completely, but at least pigeonholes people into like the actions they have to take in a certain order if they want to be able to do stuff. At the very least, it guarantees that Dan couldn't do stuff like enter on using that Black Declaration or immediately Black Power Up out of a combat that Frisco wants to stay in. He'd at least have to do something else to bail on that turn, but fortunately not to be. So Frisco powering up.
Woo-woo. Passing.
Rejuve Head Knock and lose a Blue Slash.
Look out, visiting another foreshadowing.
Dan drops a visiting, gains a few stages.
Oh. DQ'd.
That's right. Yep. You're done. Get out.
Why did he do? Why, like, that was a weird order. Like, he played the visiting.
Yeah.
Powered up.
That was pretty random.
And then, okay, whatever.
But sure, reduce for lookout and then reduce foreshadowing for turn. So Frisco drawing, powering up.
Got visiting.
And another pass. Knocked to the bottom once again. I wonder, did you see what Frisco held? Neck beam would have been theoretically cool in this situation.
I think he still has the time. I don't think he's gotten rid of that. Because he's got the slash and the neck beam.
Yeah, of course.
He rejuved head knock like twice in a row, didn't he?
Sure. Mental drill hits the table. Dan shows a sphere.
Sphering the mental drill. Just kidding, that doesn't happen.
Now Frisco knows that time by itself isn't going to do much.
He might pitch it now.
And if you drew into something else like a confrontation in general, I like keeping, say, a confrontation over time, but obviously, since the thing he's trying to avoid is a sphere in hand, neither of those is going to be a great option right now. Chooses not to play Gohan and rejuves a choke.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm guessing that's to reestablish tag protection once he bounces an ally with Goku's level 1 power. It's the only reason I could think of why he wouldn't have just randomly played Gohan that turn.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I don't think
all four
Gohan really does much in this matchup because I don't think Dan's getting off of one.
Sure, that's true too.
He stayed there our entire match. I don't think I mean, there is anger in the deck, but that's not his goal is definitely not to get off of one. At least to my knowledge.
Oh, Dan definitely not. No, he's not looking to level up.
So gaining the one anger really doesn't matter.
I prefer still probably almost universally high-tech Black Krillin as opposed to promo Black Krillin, especially in an environment where Ginyu has pretty much fizzled away almost entirely. The crit's awesome, but slightly less important than it used to be. And getting that extra attack in a turn from leveling up.
It's entering, getting time.
Plus all the other added benefits of changing levels in a combat.
Getting rid of the confrontation?
So Dan's going to have a really plinky turn. I'm assuming he's basically just going to Krillin power. Never mind. He's leading on
Powered Elbow?
Powered Elbow for a tiny bit of damage. And the mental drill.
I think Frisco still has the time.
And right now leading on enhanced reflexes. So Dan's contemplating a sphere.
Sphere contemplation.
All right, and
no
goes unsphered, so.
Picking up Vegeta.
Goku power. Nails some good setups.
So long setups. I think the only, aside from using Declaration on nothing, the only thing Dan really can do aggressively is
Vegeta that Krillin power, unless he's got another block.
Is Vegeta just an Omni block?
Yeah.
Okay.
By placing him into play. Yep, during combat.
From your hand, only as Goku, right?
Right, yep. And yep, there's Vegeta. And now he knows Dan's out of gas, because he's on a block and a sphere, so.
Yeah, he remembered the...
Throw a blue head knock, which will deal pretty good damage if it hits. 5's a solid number, and there's the time. and declaring Chi-Chi, which probably won't matter this combat since he did let Goku's power through.
Yeah.
So Frisco's going to go ahead and tutor her back if he wants her, or somebody else.
Just not Gohan? Is it only deck?
Yeah, Goku power is deck.
Gotcha.
Search for an ally and place it on top of your life deck.
Oh, okay.
So you don't actually draw it. You just set it up for a future draw.
But that's at the end of combat, correct?
Correct. Yep. All right, combat ends. So grabs Chi-Chi yet again.
I didn't see he has Bulma in there.
Yeah, I definitely don't like declaring the Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
If I had been Dan in that combat, I probably just would have let on Krillin power. If he really wanted to get rid of the mental drill, he could have declared that, which would have been doubly cool because it would have prevented it from being pulled back from a discard pile with a future. Oh my gosh, what's that card called? The setup that levels you up.
Dominance.
Dominance. Yep. Then he could have mastered away the empowered elbow just to harass Frisco's hand and banish some more stuff from the discard.
He drew Bulma as well. That's funny.
So yeah, Chi-Chi and Bulma. Sure, Bulma will. Well, Dan's discard pile isn't that great. Could suck time out of it, which would be amusing. Okay, Black Declaration, solid choice.
Fair enough.
I think they're debating whether you can.
Yeah, the timing of
play a declaration
if he Krillin powered. Yeah.
From hand with mastery.
Do you have any idea about that?
I think you could, because I believe Bulma only stops you from playing the cards. So if you mastery it, it's placed into play, and I'm pretty sure that would be legal. All right, Dan draws a.
Even around the crit, which I think is what they were talking about.
And off to combat we go.
Woohoo! No one has visitings anymore.
For the crit, I believe it might be Dan's choice. I think he might be able to resolve those in the order he chooses.
What was that about? Did he draw? Oh, Frisco already drew for combat.
Yeah, and Dan hit with a Krillin power, I believe.
Yeah.
And critted Chi-Chi. Frisco
Dan's got a sphere.
Dan thinking about it.
Will you, won't you? Pick a thing.
Yeah, I like sphere in there. No reason to let him look at your hand.
Get that time back. Still got a disc.
Even if Frisco does still have that time,
Swipe.
He doesn't need to be super worried about it anyway. Dan's last attack this combat is a disc, so
yeah,
he's not worried about it for this turn.
And pick a thing.
He might pass. I would think it's more likely he'd either mastery or disc, but I guess remains to be seen. Oh, passing in need. Goku power. Blocked.
Gain some stages.
For
Right?
big
No.
Disc. Nope, that adds +4 life cards.
Ah.
Upward dodge adds +4 to next attack. So that's going to be a
I was
disc
thinking
for
it was
9.
He's taking it. Maybe he did get rid of the time. I thought he still had it though.
No, he couldn't time the disc anyway. But
oh, it's It's unstoppable. Yep. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And Dan blocks the key build up.
Is Chi-Chi in there?
Stuff to banish. She would be, but again, Frisco could just rejuve with the mastery.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Looks like Dan's probably just gonna fish for energy blocks. Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Can get rid of. I guess, like you said, any ally doesn't matter. Even if you got rid of Roshi. Sphere.
And a third card. Nope, they just noticed that enhanced reflex should have been banished.
Well, I think there was 2 in there. I think he took 1 as damage.
Sure.
Dan was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I didn't notice that Frisco hadn't banished that before.
I didn't even know that card was banished.
Nope. I think people forget because it banishes the top card. They forget that it is also banished after use. Alright, couple of blocks and a sphere. Dan passes and Frisco neck beams. For, unfortunately, not enough to crit, even if he doesn't draw endurance. Yeah, he'll take it all to the face. All 7 to the bottom. Dan passes. Frisco also passes. No allies banished. Rejuve. And he'll discard Vegeta. Lifting drill. Would have been slightly better last turn. Could have buffed up Goku and
that last
put
attack
neck beam
to
in
crit.
crit range.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
Oh, Dan did level up.
Frisco contemplating
The
combat.
lookout drill should be gone, right? Because Dan is now at 2.
Yeah, Frisco chose to level him up with neck beam. That's one of the reasons I thought he might have kept it originally. And yes, that lookout drill should be. There they go.
There we go.
Yeah, the other turn when he discarded neck beam, that was a thing that I had considered, but he didn't have combat. Yeah, in my mind, it would have been better to clear like a more substantial board, like a smoothness drill. Clearing a smoothness drill by leveling him that way would have been awesome. At this point, I'm not even necessarily sure if it benefited Frisco that much, because now, I mean, sure, Dan doesn't have the crit, but Frisco's on notice to be at a extreme hand at disadvantage if he ends up taking a Krillin 2 power.
Did he just draw 2 declarations? I think he did. One. I think there's 2 there. Yeah.
Yep. Discard 1, heal the other.
Funny. And he kept a blinding energy move. Oolong.
Okay, he is running Oolong. That's good. Not in this match necessarily, but and in fact, again,
Ball's already out.
Yeah, now playing Oolong, not necessarily a huge advantage for Frisco because he knows that ball 7 is at the bottom of Dan's deck, and now he can't steal ball 4, assuming Dan gets a board that he'd like to clear.
Another disc. Another upward dodge.
Disc upward dodge.
And another shiny card.
Yeah. Assuming if Dan enters, which he... Yep, he's entering in Krillin powering apparently. Yeah. And there's Frisco's time. Been hanging out for over half the game. But yeah, I'm assuming Dan's doing the same. He's going to wait for Frisco to Goku power or otherwise physical attack him and then disc for 9 more.
Would disc still go even if he timed?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Punches through floating effect defenses.
That's so dumb.
Frisco blue tearing.
Optic blast.
Again, he won't get the ball power if he steals ball 4, but Dan doesn't have a board anyway. But he will get the extra damage, so assuming it hits, that's going to deal a nice chunk. And Dan does take the terror for 4.
Weird new power up. So weird. Sideways cards.
Enhanced reflexes on the optic blast from Dan. Say Dan's been passing out, waiting for him to do that. Yeah. That's it or close to it, maybe. That's not a large stack of cards in Frisco's deck. Frisco Goku powering.
Can you pick anybody up?
Yep.
For some reason, I thought it was only Vegeta.
No, he's just the one you'd want. But yeah, you can pick anybody up. And it is optional. I'm pretty sure. I don't think you have to return anyone. So he could have just left her out there, I believe, but he's probably guarding against a Black Mastery. Because he doesn't really need Boma in this desperate point of the game. So if Dan pitches something, he can just toss Boma and either keep the card that he has or use it, depending on if it's a block or another attack that'll punch through.
Six cards. Yeah.
Dan,
oh, don't count.
Looks like 25-ish, upwards of 20.
26.
Yeah. Oh. Lightning stopped. Combat ends. Frisco's other card was Krillin, which is amusing.
Why was binding stopped? Oh, time. That's right. That's right. I'm back.
Okay, he's probably going to Bulma and target Disc if there's a third one left in his deck.
Yep.
Hopefully he counted. Like I'm not sure if he...
He's only played 2, to my knowledge. I don't think he's taken any damage.
So hopefully that did actually count.
And I mean, he's got like a third of his deck still there.
Sure.
Or, well, more like a half, actually. So.
Let's go passing out. So the 3 cards that weren't that confrontation he rejuved are going to be his last hand.
And Dan gets a
Dan draws smoothness. So Dan probably has no reason to attack. Like, Frisco's going to have a random 3 draw either way. Yeah, he's going to rejuve and keep the hand advantage. So Frisco plays visiting. That's not nothing. I doubt he'll be able to overcome Dan's life lead. But
no,
he's going to give it
he's
a
got
shot.
like 2 cards.
Might as well have one last hurrah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Frisco can either visit for something like a time.
I mean, he could.
Or, you know, a confrontation and probably lose just because he's on the clock or he won't be able to do enough. So, yeah, like, he'll get time, even if time sticks. I can't see how Frisco could possibly deal enough damage with just 2 other cards and Goku's power to win this game.
Goku for
long away.
So long. Crushing Beam.
Again, probably just for Black Mastery coverage.
I think he's got 2 defensive...
That, but I don't think it's going to matter.
I think Dan has 2 defensive bursts. There's the other disc.
There's the last disc. Yep. Frisco plinks in for
3.
Yeah, I don't know why he banished that. I don't think he needed the endurance, but that's fine. Frisco's got 2 life cards left. All Dan has to do is pass out even. Like, he doesn't need to take an action. And assuming he can end the combat with 4 more life cards in his own deck, he'll win the game, so... Yeah, if I were Dan, I wouldn't even perform an energy attack unless all of his narrow escapes are gone. Maybe he's verifying that now, because that would be the only way Frisco could survive this combat, is if he either narrow escaped to stack 2, or theoretically blue crouched twice.
There's one in there.
But I don't think Goku's even weak enough. Yeah, Goku would be weak enough to rejuve blue crouch anyway. Relative to Krillin, so...
I know he did banish one with that swipe a while ago, Dan. Okay, there's 2. I think all of them are accounted for.
But again, even if they weren't, like, I don't see any reason for Dan not to pass here. So, like, maybe he's just covered all his bases information-wise, but...
Yeah, I think that was the other one right there. Or maybe, I mean, he's got that searching technique in his hand, right?
Scout maneuver.
Or scout
so
maneuver.
he couldn't use it in combat. But again, it won't net him anything.
There we go.
Unless Frisco's deck gets to 4 or higher, so... Crushing Beam just puts in 1 more card that Frisco has to overcome to kill him.
Get slashed.
Dan immediately regretting not throwing a defensive burst, but it would have been timed anyway.
Yeah.
And then he should mill 6.
Got rid of those foreshadowings, which have a lot of endurance.
All 7 to the bottom again. Say Dan in the neighborhood of 18-ish.
Yeah, about.
Again, I'm not sure what Dan's looking for, but
yeah,
all his attacks are stopped, and Frisco's still got 2 cards, so
neither of them is time.
Neither of them is time. Frisco's hand is in Oolong and something else.
Yeah, that's right. He did pick up Oolong with Goku's power.
Yeah, so he has one last bullet to fire for almost
Throw
a third of Dan's life
Oolong
deck.
at him. Chuck the pig.
So yeah, they're basically just running out the clock here.
Yeah.
Still not sure why Dan is the one holding up the proceedings necessarily, but he's looking for something.
Because, I mean, he just has to... They both just have to pass.
Yeah, combat ends and he'll win the game.
Yeah.
So.
Pick up, enter, you're done. What are you doing?
I mean, he must be looking for that searching tech for some reason, but... Or scout maneuver, I'm sorry.
But it's a setup, right?
No, scout maneuver, searching tech is the setup.
Oh, okay. I get...
Scout maneuver is the event.
Don't they do basically the same thing?
No, not quite. Scout maneuver, you name a card, a physical combat, energy combat, or event, and then you search for all the cards you named. Searching tech, you just choose 2 cards, any non-Dragon Ball cards, basically.
Oh, and...
So you don't need to choose them beforehand. You can just kind of rifle through, and you can pick any 2 things to get rid of.
Oh, okay.
So he's looking for a card to name, I'm assuming, but I'm still not sure why. He's definitely not on point to do so.
I mean, there's like no point to now. I mean, there's literally no point to even bother with that.
He's thinking about something. All right, he does it.
It stopped though, right?
No, he did the scout maneuver. So he named something.
He named choke.
Frisco did not have it.
Or he used choke? I don't know.
No, he named Sinister Choke. Oh man, was that an... Jeez, where did Dan's life deck go?
He milled that 6, and he took at least 3 from that slash. Frisco's been doing some damage.
Well, there you go. Color me incorrect.
Yeah.
Frisco's going to pull it out.
Oh, and I'm just listening to the recording of me just realizing some of the video stuff was a little messed up that we fixed in post.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, I knew that was wrong. Yeah, he choked for 1 too many.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting there thinking about it, looking at the board, making sure I hadn't missed something. Yeah, Frisco's choke did 5+1 with the lifting drill. So he thought he did 1 more life card than he did, apparently. Dan doing a defensive burst that doesn't matter, or just discarding for the turn?
I don't know. He didn't have to... I don't know.
That was some end of that game.
Yeah.
There. And that's definitely it. Unless they screwed up something else. Yeah, I sat there like... I was sitting there for a good 20 or 30 seconds trying to figure out where that extra life card
I think
came
everyone
from.
else was too.
But...
Oh.
Yeah, so that's going to do it. Dan will take an extremely close game.
Yeah.
Black Krillin versus Blue Goku.
No kidding. I forgot I even watched the end of that game. Like in
person. Sure. Yeah. Choke's no joke.
Nope.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for round 2.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more matches online. So
woohoo!
watch the next video.